if you're doing influencer marketing or stepping into newer partnerships and relationships and you're thinking it's just a one shot because it's Black Friday and they're going to get you, they're your golden ticket. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily work like that. It takes consistency. And if you're having influencers do stuff specifically for like, we just had Mother's Day, like if you're doing just like a Mother's Day campaign or a Valentine's Day campaign, don't be so hard on the influencer if you don't get exactly what you want, and don't think, oh, influencer marketing doesn't work. I tried it. It doesn't work. It's like you need to be consistent. You need to try it a couple different ways. Look at the campaign, see what you can adjust and move forward from there. But I do feel like we all want the quick results so fast, and we want the 0 to 5 million in like 2 years immediately. And it's like, okay, that didn't work. I'm not doing that. It's like, it really is riding the wave.
You're going to have to understand how much it costs to produce it and what the net profit is, so you have an understanding, is this product profitable? And then you're going to want to do the same thing with your suppliers and distributors. You're going to want to look at them, whether it's a quarterly, semi-annually, or yearly basis, and make a decision on how profitable they are, how much you're spending on them, and then set up budgets. You don't want to be spending on, if there's a company that's bringing you in 10% of profit margin, it shouldn't be spending 50% of your capital. It should be spending approximately 10% of your capital.
Yeah.
Right? And so you need to do these supplier performance reviews like we do. And if you are wholesale reselling, which is phenomenal, you want to look at some brand exclusivities. And the way you do that is, if you find an opportunity, you're going to now want to create a pitch deck, which means really go deep into that brand. What can you offer them? Are they protected online? Is it more than just brand registry? Is it the transparency labels like you mentioned? How are you going to provide that to them? Are they doing off-site promotions? Are they being linked to Amazon? How will you provide that to them? Are you going to allocate some advertising of your own to their budget? Do you use any software to see what their niche category is and what the estimated cost of ad is for that category?
Yeah.
Are you going to provide that to them? I mean, we go really deep before we even work with a brand, providing them 20, 30-page report about their condition and how we can help them.
Yeah. And something I'd like to add to this is the same way we're analyzing, because we're talking a lot about wholesale and brand exclusivity, but we also own 4 or 5 different private label companies. And we're analyzing the numbers and the sales and the profitability of these private label listings the same exact way, right?
Correct.
We're looking at return rates, average volume, net profits, like how much is going into my pocket after shipping from overseas, freight charges, removal orders, disposals, customer returns, like how much am I actually making? And most companies, when you ask them, they don't have that answer, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I think that as sellers, we end up spending way more at a time when we're running a discount. So like we already have thinner margins, to me, it just doesn't always make sense, right? So, one strategy honestly is, to minimize your ads or pause them, or maybe you set like a campaign or an account level daily spend cap of something you're comfortable with for that day, and then kind of let the rest just happen organically. And you'll find that you probably will actually have a higher profit margin for the day.
The way contracts typically work, especially in Delaware, it's the 4 corners of the document. So if that's not in there as an exhibit and you go to court, the court's not going to be admissible evidence.
Oh,
right?
Got it. Because, it doesn't matter what's in the file if it wasn't included in the contract.
Unless you incorporate it by reference, but you will find most buyers don't want to do that because they don't know what's in there either. Because when they're trying to close, especially aggregators, when they're trying to close a deal in 60 days or 45 days, they're not looking at the due diligence. They're just basically expecting you to make reps, and then they could come down.
When you say reps, you mean?
Representations, warranties, promises about the condition of your business. Like you comply with all, I promise I comply with all laws. Whether or not has no impact. It just means if there is a violation, if it's possible, you're on the hook for it.
I believe most brands, or at least in the e-commerce space, the ones that I know, they have absolutely no clue of what their unit economics are. They're like, oh, I know that my cost, the manufacturer charged me $3 and I sell it for $20. I'm doing a lot of, like, I have huge margins, when in reality, the unit cost is way more than just your cost of goods.
That is not only absolutely true, it absolutely changes as well, because every shipment has its own unit economic breakdown. So it is a cardinal sin that I really hope entrepreneurs pay attention to. Getting things into a system where you have a purchase order that goes in, and then you're tracking your landed cost, true landed cost, which includes, all the components, whether it's freight or drayage or, duties or customs. There are many, many layers, and every shipment, there's some variation in that. We know down to exact pennies, every job, every item cost, everything. And if we don't, then we make the system better until we do. It's never perfect, but it's on its way towards getting better every day.